When having a discussion regarding the modern NBA, one buzzword that may arise is parity. This idea that players today, especially when you go down the list and look at key rotational pieces, are perhaps more talented than those of the past. Now, every era is going to have their stars that would do well no matter what circumstance you put them in. The likes of Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Hakeem Olajuwon, no matter where you put these guys, they would do well, they would thrive. But then you go down the list and you look at the top six men in the league, or just real depth pieces, who one might gloss over today, but in a prior era, some would make the argument that they could be a top three player on a team and be a vital cog in one system. And some, when they make this claim, it's based off of advanced analytics or something that is truly measurable. Some, it's based off of the eye test. They really liked what they saw from the likes of, say, a Nikhil Alexander Walker and his potential defensively, and how that could translate to a different era. When, meanwhile, for Minnesota in the modern NBA, he's a depth piece coming off the bench for them, and he's very important, but he's not a top guy over there. But this NBA postseason, regardless of how you feel about parity in regards to past generations and how it really stacks up, the level of talent in the association has really been on display these playoffs. Whether it is upsets, whether it's star making performances, it has been an electrifying NBA postseason in which the talent of the association has been put on full display. Starting off in the Eastern Conference, the Indiana Pacers are currently up 3-1 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And let's consider the context of this for a second. Throughout this NBA regular season, there were two perceived juggernauts in the East. Those were the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. The Celtics were defending NBA champions, and for Cleveland, they were firing on all cylinders out of the gate. They went on multiple double digit winning streaks without experiencing a single loss. It looked like it was going to take a lot to take them down. Many of the conversations around this time were simply asking the question, when it comes to the Eastern Conference Finals, when we get to that point, who's going to be the victor? Is it going to be Boston or is it going to be Cleveland? But now, come the postseason, things have been kind of flipped on their head, especially for Cleveland. And they've dealt with some injuries going into the Tuesday game, which is make or break for Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell was a game time decision, and many of the core pieces of this team have been dealing with various injuries. But what the Pacers have done has been really, really impressive. And this is a team that, when you look on paper, especially at the starting fives, they are significantly outmatched. Tyrese Halliburton, as impressive as he is as a central offensive hub for Indiana, there are many people who have plenty of questions about him. Miles Turner as a concept is an incredible fit for the modern NBA at that center spot as someone who can space the floor and is a very good shot blocker. But in reality, that isn't always super consistent. Pascal Siakam, he's been elite in transition, but there were some people who kind of questioned his fit with the team. And beyond that, you've got solid guys like Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Nimhard, Aaron Nesmith, who are making very good contributions. But then you look on the other side, you have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell, a top three shooting guard in the entire NBA, undoubtedly. Darius Garland, an all-star caliber point guard. The defensive player of the year, Evan Mobley, and his partner on the front court, Jared Allen. Then Cleveland, they also made a trade for DeAndre Hunter to really round out that starting five. Hunter being this versatile, very solid two-way forward to really be the connecting piece, the glue that holds the Cavaliers together. Even coming off the bench, they've got the likes of Ty Jerome, who was a finalist for the Sixth Man of the Year award, as well as Isaac Okoro, someone who has been there for years and has developed chemistry with this starting team. Because before DeAndre Hunter, Isaac Okoro would come in and he would be the small forward for this team in spurts. And it seemed like there was no doubt that Cleveland would be making the Eastern Conference Finals. But now that has not only been put in doubt, they are down 3-1. There is zero room for error for the Cavaliers now. And some of that is absolutely due to lingering injuries for the core members of this team, but a lot of it too is when you have injuries, that other team still has to execute. And the Pacers have absolutely executed because they have that talent. And it's a shining example of the parity in the modern NBA. Then on our other Eastern Conference series, you have the Celtics up against the Knicks. And much like Cleveland, Boston was the overwhelming favorite to, at bare minimum, make the Eastern Conference Finals. Currently, they are down 2-1. And this team, they haven't changed much since last year. As a matter of fact, the likes of Peyton Pritchard, he's only gotten better. He is your sixth man of the year now. But the Knicks, they've got a unit that matches up well with just about anyone else. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson's back. Coming off the bench, you've got the likes of Miles McBride. This team is very talented as well. And what this talent does is it makes the NBA even more unpredictable. Because both New York and Cleveland are down, they are facing deficits, especially the Cavaliers, when on paper one could simply pencil them in to advance. It's simply not that simple. There is a reason that the game is played because of the parity of the modern NBA. And we're really seeing its implications this postseason. You move on over to the Western Conference, we're seeing it over there too. In the first round, the Los Angeles Lakers, they were led by LeBron James, a top two player in the history of the NBA, and Luka Doncic, a player who many had projected to be a top 10 player in league history by the time his career is over. But this team, they were very, very top heavy. And going up in the first round against Minnesota, the Timberwolves had a lot of depth. And with that, they had an answer for the Lakers. Because the Lakers could not respond to the likes of a Rudy Gobert, who LA really had no answer for, or Anthony Edwards, who there's not really a great backcourt defender for Los Angeles to really be able to keep in check. Because of the level of talent that the Minnesota Timberwolves had throughout their entire roster, they were able to beat out the top-heavy Luka Doncic and LeBron James-led Los Angeles Lakers. Then in the second round, you have a series between Denver and Oklahoma City. And at the top of these two teams, you have two leading MVP candidates, without a doubt the top two finalists for that award, in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic. But both of these two have not had the best series this second round. And instead, the guys around them have played a vital role in making this series as competitive as it is. Whether it's Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, J-Dub, Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, there's a lot of talent that goes into both of these teams. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, relative to his normal efficiency, has really struggled. And Nikola Jokic, one of the greatest passers that we've ever seen, his assist to turnover ratio these last couple of games has not been pretty, especially by his standards. But because of the talent on both these teams, it has been a very competitive, very fun series, and a testament to the parity of the modern NBA. Now, what does all of this mean? Why is this so important to talk about the talent in the modern NBA? Because yes, it's one thing, it's very, very important to sit back and appreciate it. As a man of faith, I believe thoroughly in expressing gratitude for simply being here every day and the things that I am thankful for. But aside from simply taking a glance and appreciating the state of the league, why does this matter? Because it makes everything more exciting and more unpredictable. We are at a point now with the level of talent in the league that some people have deemed it a necessity that the NBA expands in the coming years. So that way the rosters can kind of level out, because now you've got guys sitting on the bench who are very, very talented, who have a lot to offer, that just don't get a chance to show it because of how talented the guys ahead of them are. And with that, you never know necessarily who's going to step up on a given night. Look at this OKC Denver series. If SGA has an off night, Nikola Jokic has an off night, who's going to step up? Who's going to make this series in this game worth watching? It means that you can't pencil in the Celtics or the Cavaliers to simply go on to make the Eastern Conference Finals just because of the starting five that they have. Instead, you have to take into consideration what the other team does well, how they match up. Because when you've got parity across both sides, and thereby top heavy talent does not necessarily grant you the edge when there's so much talent on the other end as well. You have to worry about the individual nuances and matchups as well. So it's great for the hardcore fans. It's also great for the casuals, making these series more unpredictable. You never know who's going to come out on top. And it creates just a really exciting atmosphere, perhaps something like we've never seen yet in the modern NBA. The league may be more talented than ever. That's been on full display this NBA postseason, and it has been riveting. What a time it is to be an NBA fan. And this parity, this level of talent in the league right now, has made it all the more enjoyable.